It was truly exciting being able to connect with him because I know the season in a lot kind of like hasn't gone the way he wanted to this year. So
breaking news just dropped, shaking the Browns locker room to its core and putting the entire dog pound on high alert. The mood was already razor tight after that gut-wrenching loss to the Titans, but now we've got a fresh explosive twist. One of the most scrutinized names in Cleveland finally broke his silence, and what he just revealed about a teammate is detonating across every Browns feed in existence. Words that could either unify this locker room or rip it wide open, and nobody expected them to come from him. While the city is still reeling from that 31-29 heartbreak, a single post-game moment has completely flipped the tone of the week, reopening a wound the fan base thought was long healed. Before we dive into the madness, smash that like button and subscribe, because around here we live and breathe every snap, every bruise, every inch of turf our Browns battle for. If you bleed brown and orange, this is home. Buckle up, because tonight we've got emotion, drama, and a bombshell that just detonated right in the heart of the dog pound. Here's the setup. The Browns took the field against the Tennessee Titans, desperate to prove there was still a pulse left in this season. The offense was inconsistent, the defense fighting to hold the wall, and all eyes locked onto rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, a young gunslinger learning what it means to carry a franchise fueled by pressure and passion. Across from him, a cold-blooded Titans squad, poised to exploit any mistake. The final score, 31-29, was brutal. Cleveland had the shot. They had the ball in their hands, and somehow victory slipped away, including that baffling call from Kevin Stefanski to yank Sanders off the field for a pivotal two-point attempt. But the real headline after this emotional roller coaster wasn't about play calling or officiating. It was about what went down and what was said between Sanders and wide receiver Sanders Jeudy. Their relationship had already been under a microscope after cameras captured a fiery sideline shouting match last week. That moment looked patched up until tonight. In his post-game presser, Shedeur Sanders finally spoke, and what he said stunned everybody. It was really special being able to connect with him, Sanders said, visibly emotional. This season hasn't gone how we wanted, but bringing a little joy back into his life, that means a lot. It sounded peaceful, but inside that locker room, the words cut deeper, like a man bearing more than just a loss. Sanders and Jeudy have been painted as polar opposites, the determined rookie versus the frustrated veteran.
The fact that, one decision could bring somewhat joy in his life and be able to help the team out overall, that brings me peace, that brings me happiness, So.
Yet against the Titans, they finally clicked. Jeudy reeled in 3 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown, including a 60-yard missile across the middle that had the dog pound launching off their couches. It was the best chemistry we've seen from that duo all season. But that press conference revealed something else. Beneath the surface, raw emotions still simmered. Sanders talked about clarity, about doing what I need to do, and thanked the coaching staff for showing him the right way to see the game. It felt like a young leader extending an olive branch, but to others it sounded like the calm before another storm ripping through Berea. The response online was instant. Brown's Twitter erupted. Half the dog pound praised Sanders for his maturity. Kid's the future. Handled it like a vet. Others scoffed, talk is cheap, lead with your play. Meanwhile, the media started piecing together what really erupted last week. That Sanders-Jeudy argument wasn't a mild disagreement. It was loud, heated, and eventually center Ethan Posich had to step in to break it up. The footage went viral, memes everywhere, and both players stayed silent until now. After the Titans game, Jeudy spoke too. We talked about it. It's fine. It was about one play. This is an emotional sport. He tried to minimize the moment, but the folded arms and locked jaw told a different story. Then came the jab at reporters. Once again, the dog pound erupted. Some fans rushing to defend the player's privacy. Others demanding accountability. The Browns' locker room, already under immense pressure from inconsistent results, transformed into a full-blown drama set loaded with ego, emotion, and expectation. But on the field, this tension has real consequences. Sanders just delivered the best performance of his young career. 364 yards, 4 total touchdowns, spreading the ball to 8 different receivers. That's big-time football. But leadership isn't just about gaudy stat lines. It's about connection, cohesion, and chemistry. And that's where the storm gets tricky. Jeudy's season has been a roller coaster. Moments of his old brilliance, but long stretches of raw frustration. And in Cleveland, the difference between progress and disaster is thinner than notebook paper. Stefanski keeps preaching unity, praising Sanders' poise and pumping up rookie tight end Harold Fannin Jr., who erupted for 114 yards and a touchdown, breaking the Browns' rookie tight end yardage record. But behind closed doors, the coaching staff knows the truth. If that quarterback-wide receiver dynamic keeps wobbling, the entire offense risks collapsing. The numbers tell the story. When Jeudy tops 70 yards, the Browns average 27 points. When he's under 40, that average plummets to 17. Their connection is the heartbeat of this offense. That's Cleveland's double-edged sword. The talent is undeniable, but the emotions are nuclear. Sanders is trying to grow into a leader. Jeudy is fighting to prove he's still a cornerstone. And every mic, every camera, every tweet throws gasoline on the fire. Next up, a bitter, icy trip to Soldier Field to face the Bears. On paper, just another game. In reality, a turning point. This one is about pride, not just playoff probability. A chance to turn frustration into fight and prove this locker room can transform tension into energy. Conditions in Chicago? Brutal. Wind whipping, temperatures freezing, the crowd roaring. Through it all, Shedeur Sanders carries not just the football, but the hopes of an entire franchise. The Dog Pound wants to see a leader forged in adversity, one who can look his teammate in the eye and say, "Let's roll." Because after Sanders' comments about Jeudy, every eye in that locker room will be watching how that connection plays out Sunday. This is the game that tells us whether the Browns still believe or whether doubt takes over. All right, Dog Pound, your turn. Did Sanders do the right thing speaking publicly about Jeudy? Or should he have kept it behind closed doors? Drop unity if you think this makes the team stronger, or storm if you think the clouds haven't finished rolling in. One thing's for certain, nothing ever comes easy in Cleveland. Every victory is earned with grit. Every loss cuts deeper than steel. But this city is built on resilience. Shedeur Sanders may be young, but he's starting to understand what that brown and orange truly symbolize. His words weren't just about Jeudy, they were about maturing under fire. And Jeudy, despite the chaos and criticism, showed he still wants to fight. That post-touchdown hug wasn't just celebration, it was a statement. Two players trying to sync back up when the team needs unity the most. That's Cleveland. Emotion, chaos, rebuilding, resilience. Even in the storm, the Dog Pound keeps barking. And if there's one thing this team never runs out of, it's heart. Analysts may claim the season is on life support, but fans in this city know one thing better than anybody. Cleveland does not quit, ever. The fire in this city doesn't die when the wind blows, it ignites into something stronger. So tell me, Browns Nation, do you believe this connection between Sanders and Jeudy can spark something real and turn this season around? Or are there too many wounds in that locker room to heal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to feel what the Dog Pound feels. We live every emotion, every throw, every hit, every heartbreak like it matters. Because it does. If you're riding with this team, hit subscribe and stay locked in. Because this story is far from over. And nobody covers the Cleveland Browns with more heart and soul than we do. It just happened. Dog Pound, breaking news straight out of Berea, and it's shaking the entire locker room to its core. A bombshell decision dropped completely out of nowhere, one that could flip the Browns season on its head and maybe rewrite the franchise's future altogether. The word just came down, fresh, hot, and generating nonstop buzz. Inside Browns HQ, the reaction was pure shock blended with hype and even a wave of relief. Something major went down, something that could alter the Browns' story from this moment all the way into January. Fans are losing their minds, insiders are confirming it, and the locker room? Oh yeah, it reacted. This decision touches the most dissected, most controversial, most scrutinized position in the entire sport. Quarterback, and the name attached to this shakeup has the fan base split, electrified, and suddenly hopeful again. Before we break it all down, if you're true Dog Pound, if you bleed orange and brown, if every snap, every hit, every field goal sends your heart into overdrive, smash that subscribe button. because this is where Cleveland's heart thunders loudest. This is where the Browns never die. The Cleveland Browns have lived through one of those roller coaster seasons only this franchise could script. A defense that straight up bullies opposing offenses week after week, and an offense still struggling to figure out its identity. One Sunday feels like redemption, the next Sunday feels like heartbreak. It's been a high-wire act. Every game brings new questions. Every drive brings new hope or fresh frustration. Since Dylan Gabriel went down in Week 11 against Baltimore, the offense lost its anchor. The blueprint unraveled fast, and the coaching staff had to improvise on the run. Cleveland kept searching, tweaking, experimenting. And the question bouncing around Berea louder than anything else: who is going to lead this team now? That uncertainty weighed heavy. The defense did its job, but the offense looked paralyzed. And then, quietly, one name started surfacing more and more during practice. A rookie, a kid with ice in his veins, a calm demeanor, and a work ethic that started rubbing off on everyone around him. He didn't talk big. He just showed up, worked, and earned respect. That's when heads started turning inside that locker room. And now, it's official. Kevin Stefanski didn't dodge it, didn't sugarcoat it. Shedeur Sanders is the Cleveland Browns' starting quarterback for the rest of the season. That's right, dog pound, it's locked in. After weeks of internal debates, film sessions, and strategy meetings, the staff made their call. And the turning point? That Titan showdown. Sanders didn't just play well, he exploded. 364 passing yards, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. That wasn't just a strong outing, that was a breakout moment, a coronation. That performance flipped him from promising rookie to the guy. Stefanski praised him afterward. He's improving steadily, consistently each week. He's focused, committed, always learning. And that wasn't canned coach speak. You could see it with your own eyes. Sanders managed the clock, identified blitzes like a vet, stayed calm under chaos, and most importantly, led the team. The Browns looked different with him commanding the offense, lighter, looser, hungrier. That's when Stefanski realized this rookie isn't just plugging a hole, he's changing the entire atmosphere. And think about this. A few months ago, none of this even felt realistic. Shadur Sanders arrived with question marks plastered all over him, a college standout who slid all the way to the 5th round. Critics said his arm wasn't elite, that he wasn't pro-ready, that he was just a developmental project. But in Cleveland, he found the perfect environment to shut every critic up. He went to work quietly. He watched more film than anyone. He watched more tape than anyone on the roster, stayed late after practice, showed up before sunrise. He didn't beg for a chance, he earned it. And inside the building, that attitude became contagious. Veterans noticed. Joel Bitonio, the heartbeat of the offensive line, put it plain. He's got the focus of a vet. He wants to be great. When a rookie shows that, you feel it. Myles Garrett took it even further. That kid handles pressure like it's just a normal Tuesday. You can't teach that. You either have it or you don't, and he's got it. When the announcement hit, the dog pound erupted. Social media blew up. Some fans shouted, "Finally!" Others stayed cautious. Cleveland has been burned before by hype trains that never left the station. But this time, something felt different. For the first time in a long time, the Browns didn't look like they were patching holes. They looked like a franchise with a plan, a real one, built on development, patience, and purpose. Every bar in the city buzzed with the news. Local radio ran Browns talk on repeat. Even old-school fans who've seen decades of heartbreak were saying, "This kid's got what the others didn't, poise and conviction." Because that's Cleveland. Grit through pain, loyalty through heartbreak. But somehow, this time the spark feels authentic. Maybe it's because Sanders embodies what Cleveland has always stood for, resilience. And on the field, the transformation is undeniable. Since Sanders took control, points per game jumped from 17 to 23. Third down conversions climbed nearly 10%, and the playbook finally looks alive. Stefanski brought back the play-action game, opened up the tight ends, and Sanders is executing it like he's been doing it for years. He's cool in the pocket, knows when to move, extends plays, throws on the run, and, most importantly, keeps his eyes downfield. That's big league quarterbacking. His accuracy on short routes keeps drives alive. And when defenses creep up, he hits them with the deep ball. Cooper and Moore are thriving again. The offensive line is blocking with confidence. When your quarterback believes, everyone breathes easier. That confidence becomes contagious. Stefanski knows Sanders is still learning, but this growth is legitimate and sustainable. Sanders isn't just playing quarterback. He's transforming the Cleveland Browns offense. Behind closed doors, the impact is even greater. Word out of Berea is that Sanders is always the first guy in, last guy out. Film room sessions, timing discussions with receivers, coverage breakdowns, asking questions, raising standards. He's not loud, he leads through example. Stefanski has been blown away. When a rookie works like that, it elevates everybody. That's how culture shifts. That's how you build what it means to be a Brown. You can feel it. The chemistry with Cooper is growing. The O-line trusts him, and suddenly the entire offense is beating like one heart. Sanders has that unbreakable calm, the kind you can't coach, and in Cleveland, that's worth more than gold. But there's no time to celebrate. The next matchup is massive, season-defining, high stakes, drenched in AFC North tension. The Browns need this win to stay alive in the playoff race, and now all eyes are on Sanders. The spotlight is brighter, the expectations heavier. But if you know this kid, you know he lives for it. Like he said himself, "I feel comfortable in uncomfortable situations." That right there, that's Cleveland energy, and it's why this city believes again. All right, Dog Pound, I want to hear from you. Drop he's him in the comments if you believe Shadur is the real deal. Drop still waiting if you think it's too early to crown him. No matter where you stand, this story already defines what it means to be from Cleveland. It's about getting back up when the world counts you out. It's about turning pain into power. Sanders may just be the beginning, but what he represents is bigger. The idea that Cleveland can rebuild, reset, and believe again. The coaches believe, the locker room believes, and most importantly, the fans believe. Cleveland is pain and glory, heartbreak and pride. We don't know yet if Shadur will be the long-term answer, but we know this. He lit a fire in this city's soul again, and that alone matters. So I'll ask you, do you believe Cleveland is back?